Hey guys, welcome to another video from Overbite Gaming. As you can probably tell from my voice, I am still under the weather. But, you know, show must go on, right? No professional would not do this. So, here I am doing it. I'm better, but it's just still full of yuck. Anyway, we're here to have a look at Diablo 2 Resurrected. A new release from Blizzard, which is obviously a remaster of the original Diablo 2. It's interesting that they've decided to do this, because for years they basically gave away Diablo 2 on their website. You could just go onto Blizzard's website and download it and play it. And now they've come out with Resurrected. And it is just a remaster. There's no real changes to it, other than just a graphical update, and the animations are nicer. So there's still some clunkiness that they've not sort of resolved, so it doesn't feel like Diablo 3, it does feel like Diablo 2, for better or worse. It's nostalgic, but there's also some clunkiness. For instance, when you go to sell your stuff, you have to hold down a button and left click to sell it directly from inventory without dragging it. Whereas in Diablo 3, obviously you just right click and it just goes. So personally, I would have liked to have seen some of that taken care of, but essentially it is Diablo 2 with a lick of paint and some better animations. You do have a key, you press G during gameplay and it will seamlessly switch between Legacy mode and Resurrected. So it's very similar to the original StarCraft remaster they did. I can't remember the exact name, but I can probably look it up because I do own it, but I can't be asked. There are some issues that need to be spoken of more around the company than the game. Blizzard has had a fair bit of bad press for various accusations recently. Personally, given the amount of accusations that are always brought against anybody, and the amount that turn out to be bogus is quite high, I prefer to sort of wait and not knee-jerk react to them. Obviously, I'm not encouraging any bad actors, but I think evidence is the proof of the pudding in any situation like that. As a result, they have been dialing back, so we say, some of the more teenager appealing aspects to their games. So the one that affects this one most directly is the update to the Amazon model in the game, and I think they've pulled it back a bit, because the screenshots that we originally saw looked like, well, Willem Dafoe was the common comparison, and that was pretty much on point. They seem to have pulled it back. The Amazon looks stern without being Green Goblin-y as much, so they seem to have had a happy medium. I mean, let's face it, if you were finding Diablo 2 as to be your spank material of the day, you really needed to get an internet connection, or, just go to the news agents, because that's pretty desperate. So, I mean, in-game, you won't see it on the character model because it's too small. So it really doesn't make a whole hell of a lot of difference. But I can understand why people were perhaps concerned that bigger elements of the game would be changed based on that. And for the most part, I don't think there has been. I certainly haven't seen anything that digresses from my memories of playing Diablo 2 back in the day. So I think that is probably overblown a bit. I mean, it comes down, a lot of people won't buy this based on the various accusations brought against Blizzard, and that's fine. You make your own decision when it comes to stuff like that. I always base it on, well, the example I always use is Jeepers Creepers. The movie there was directed by Victor Salva, someone who was convicted of doing bad things to children. Now, we can obviously all agree that man is a giant piece of shit. But the thing is, although he directed those movies, like 100 other people worked on them. You know, those guys worked their ass off on those movies. Do I not see the movie because one guy was a big piece of shit? No, I'll watch the movie, personally. I mean, I know that other people have different opinions, and that's fine. We're all different. But for me, I don't let one bad apple spoil the whole barrel. And I think, if anything, that's probably the case with Blizzard, although it may be like a little handful, perhaps, given the amount of stuff that's coming up. The game itself runs fine. I haven't had any problems with stuttering or anything like that. The animations for the Resurrected version of it are a lot smoother. And I think that's half the point of them putting the legacy thing in. It's cool that you can switch between them, but it also switch back and you like go, ugh. I mean, even playing by like 8x6, which was the maximum back in the day, and it does allow you to set the resolutions individually. So when you switch back, you go in like 640 by 480 or 800 by 600. I think it's just in there so that you can be like, oh god, I really appreciate the work you're putting on this one, guys. But I mean, I'm happy with it. I mean, I paid money for it. I paid ahead of time. I played the open beta for it. So I haven't put in as much time as I normally would to a game in this one, purely because I got a lot further in the beta and then they reset it all. So there you go. I didn't obviously want to capture anything in the beta in case they tweaked anything. So the footage you were seeing is from the new version, not the beta. And to be honest, when I bought it, I was just like, Diablo 2 with better graphics is kind of what I assumed I'd be getting, and it's exactly what I got. And you know what? I'm completely happy with that. I am very worried about the new Knights of the Old Republic remake, not remaster. For me, there is nothing that you need to change in that game in terms of story. I don't think it needs to be updated. It doesn't need to conform to modern sensibilities because it isn't set in modern society, for Christ's sakes. It's set in a galaxy far, far away. I mean, it might be perfectly acceptable to tickle your mother there, you know what I mean? Whereas obviously that's not a thing that should be happening here, but whatever. So I'm worried about that. I mean, I'd much rather they take the Diablo 2 approach with that and just, you know, update the graphics. Streamline the inventory system was a big problem back in the day, I remember. Streamline that and maybe tweak the combat system a little bit and you're good to go. You don't need to rewrite it or re-record it. The voice actors in it are fine. Everything about it was fine from that standpoint. You don't need to touch it. But no, they're gonna rewrite it, which is concerning me. But that's for another review. I mean, I'll probably catch early reviews on that one and make a decision whether or not I'm going to pick it up. And if I do, I will review it. Because I think I'll have a lot to say about it depending on what happens to it. I mean, hopefully it's the experience we all remember, but I'm not putting money on it. So, Diablo 2 Remastered. Currently available on Steam. I think it's on the consoles as well. Not Steam. The Blizzard store. What's it called? I've got it up in front of me. I still don't know what it's called. You know what I mean. Blizz thing and stuff. So if you want it, go get it. But don't expect anything more than a graphical upgrade on Diablo 2. And, you know, for me, that's fine. For others, they might want a bit better. You do get both. Diablo 2 and Lord of Destruction is also interwoven into it, so you do get all of the Diablo 2 experience. So you get the other classes like the Necromancer straight off the bat, which is cool because I know a lot of people like the Necromancer. Snare being one in particular. I think he was a bit of a Necromancer fanboy on that one. I was always a Barbarian because Smash. Anyway, guys, that's my opinion on Diablo 2. Let me know down below what you thought about it, or if you're intending to pick it up. And as I say, no judgment if you're not. We will make decisions about who we want to support in life. And, you know, I've been critical of Blizzard before in kowtowing to certain nations and stuff like that. So, you know, I can absolutely see the argument for not picking up the game. But for me, Diablo 2 is such a large part of, I was going to say childhood, but I'm too old for that. It's a large part of my young adulthood. That I was absolutely fine picking this up, and essentially it gave me exactly what I wanted, a more graphically pleasing Diablo 2. Right, that's me signing out because I'm going to have a bit of a cough now. Anyway guys, take it easy, I'll catch you next time.